the upper left, he is for SpeCial Gaming, the Latin American champion, folks. It's SpeCial.
And his opponent, spawning down on the bottom right for Team Liquid. It is Clem. Malem. Even though he doesn't have his little Malem. Gotta talk about it. But what else we gotta talk about here is the Proxy 2 racks that is coming out of SpeCial. SpeCial built a 13 supply depot. He's cut SCVs. This is the new breed of the Proxy 2 racks Reaper. This is the build that was in answer to the barracks gas that Terran players started doing. The thing is, even with this, you are still able to defend. So SpeCial, I mean, I don't know if he's hoping for a 1 racks expand or what he's hoping, but it is going to be tough to get anything done here. Then we'll have to see if he's going to be able to get anything done. Oh, very nice supply depot for Clem. It's going to see exactly what is going on. It's going to see the timing of these Reapers jumping in. And I like the setup for Clem already.
Yeah, I think it's a questionable decision from SpeCial to try to put Clem into a situation where it is mechanics versus mechanics. But that really is what this, I have 2 Reapers, you have less Reapers, but you have Hellions. It really is all about the micro and really that mechanics-based play, because SpeCial has a lot of fun builds. He plays in a very funky style, and it feels like that very much benefits. Oh, I think SpeCial just got the first shot there. So yeah, Clem's just got to run back up the high ground. Clem is aware of what's happening, and that was a fantastic KD8 charge to cover the retreat, but now it is 2 Reapers to 1. How much damage does SpeCial get here? He's trying to get the SCV that's building the factory. Oh, he's going to get it. There's a second SCV, though, getting it started right now, and the factory does complete, so we're going to have Hellions on the way soon enough. But already 3 workers have gone down, so SpeCial getting a little bit of damage to start.
Yeah, no, that was actually really, really impactful, the damage he took earlier, because it meant that Reaper could not get close and kind of try and push those Reapers back without it had to wait for its regeneration. And that meant that a couple more SCVs probably go down than they should have. At least, I would say at least 1, maybe 2 extra SCVs going down initially to that. So that's, even little things can have a big impact. And SpeCial, he's not able to get this 1 SCV, which is kind of weird because Clem left it hanging for like a really, really long time. But SpeCial, he'll come out of this with, he's already up 1 SCV. Of course, Clem does have the command center, but SpeCial always one of these players looking to push the limits of his greed. He's going to be able to get a command center behind this. He's trying to throw grenades up to the high ground. There we go. I was going to say, you got to be careful with where you place these, but he's going to be able to get that supply depot with the high ground vision. Oh, okay. Do not want to go to the high ground though. That was a bit of an oopsie. Almost gets a Marine, but you know, taking a free supply depot, you take that. That's a big victory.
And, you know, Steadfast, one of the things that we were talking about as we were sitting there in that break waiting for this series to start was how much SpeCial loves his mech play. Well, 1 factory is done. Second one is on the way. Magfield Accelerator going to be the name of the game. Which is he's not. This Marauder's not going to complete, but it's cheeky regardless. I mean, it just slows things down a little bit.
Lab, and it provides vision for a little while, and it's just a funny thing to do. You know, I just love the swagger of a move of stealing your opponent's tech lab. I think that's great. By the way, this is not just going to be mech, I believe. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a 6 Magfield Accelerator timing, or like a 5 Magfield Accelerator timing in an effort to snipe a command center. Now, I'm not sure, I don't think you have any way of sniping the natural command center, but if you hide those Cyclones, maybe, just maybe, you can find yourself sniping off a 3rd CC. We're going to see Clem stepping very far forward into this. The most important thing for SpeCial is to not lose this Cyclone, and oh, he does have that lock-on broken. He cannot afford to let himself get locked on. Every Cyclone is so valuable. Oh, SpeCial managing to get a lock-on right there. Oh, that Cyclone of Clem is trying to close the distance. Oh, but he's going to actually push up the ramp into SpeCial's defensive setup, and that ends up going very well for the Mexican Terran. He keeps that Cyclone alive, doesn't show his Magfield. This is a really good start right there. That engagement, it might have looked very expensive for SpeCial because he lost so many Reapers, but the Cyclones are the big deal right there, and he keeps them all alive.
Oh, that it is. And now SpeCial, his mag field is done. He's building more and more Cyclones, well, technically 2 at a time, but he's only on 4 at the moment. And actually, no, sorry, Widow Mines are on the way behind this. Steadfast.
What?
Okay, with the tech labs. I was going to say, you know, we saw something like this. There was an incredibly fun series in the North American regionals where Vindicta was playing against a meching player in that case. He just went mass Widow Mine and kind of ran them in and blew everything up. But that is not what we have here. Cyclones are going to lock on. One Cyclone in the corner looking, I guess, for Raven Harass. But the 4 Cyclones right now, it's weird.
I think the Widow Mines were actually a misclick. Because he queued up 2 Cyclones behind it. I think he... Okay, so I believe the Liberator hotkey and the Cyclone hotkey may have been the same one right there. And I think he meant to queue up Liberators off the off the reactor starport and Cyclones off the factories. And I think he might have misbuilt that, because I can't imagine what these Widow Mines would be for. Like, Ravens are on the field. Like, they're so useless. But I mean, maybe he just intended to put them in weird positions. I feel like this was an oopsie though. I mean, from SpeCial.
Maybe, yeah, it really has to be. But I don't know. Maybe there's some world where he says, I just want to make sure that I can guard both attack paths, so I don't have to continuously spin scans, and I kind of know when the turn, when my opponent moves out, because he's going to look for that command center snipe. But highly unlikely there. But certainly Liberators are on the field. Now we are at that 6 Cyclone count that eventually SpeCial is going to look to use, and Tanks on the way behind, Vikings on the way behind, a 3rd factory on the way, as SpeCial does have his 3rd base much quicker.
I was going to say, if it wasn't for this Marine, he might have actually just been able to run in there and gun down the command center. You might say, like, oh, you can just repair through it. If we get an opportunity to see how much damage the Cyclones actually do to a command center, you guys might have your minds blown. Right now, he's just posturing to try and get some damage with these Liberators. But it looks like one of them was already cleaned up in the natural. Yeah, and the second one going to get pushed away, only getting 2 SCVs.
Okay.
It's not really worthwhile so far. That's pretty expensive for those Liberators, but he's going to be able to at least pull the other one back. He really wants pickoffs with these Cyclones, though.
He Clem, can get that tank. He doesn't. The problem is he doesn't know what's hiding in the natural, so he doesn't want to get bounced upon, as it's just going to be another free Marine, and that's something. But notice what SpeCial's doing here too. When he sends Cyclones forward like this, he sends one forward. I don't know that Clem knows that it is the 6 Cyclone his squad, but okay, now here come the Marines. That's just a dead Cyclone. But SpeCial still has 5. Okay, certainly now Clem knows that it is 5 Cyclone here. He has to take this threat on the left side incredibly seriously. Yeah,
I think he's done exactly what he's needed to do. The worst thing you can do against Cyclones is move into them, where they have the ability, especially with Magfield, where they have the ability to, you know, lock onto units, kite you. They're so fast that if you try and run away, they can oftentimes hold the position, especially with the help of scans to extend the duration of that lock-on ability. It's just very, very beneficial overall. We are going to see the Liberators coming back in once again. He'll be able to get a couple of SCVs. But he's going to lose it now. Ooh, he wants those Vikings. Will be able to get one of them. Doesn't get the second. Actually, no, he gets the second one here, and he got the Cyclone as well. That's the kind of trade that you're looking for with those Cyclones. Gets 2 Vikings and a Cyclone for the Liberator that was, I mean, going to already be dead eventually. That's a really nice find for SpeCial. He's actually up a decent bit of supply in this game number 1.
Yeah, and you talked about earlier about how you don't want to have your opponent's Cyclones lock onto your Cyclones, right? Because there's just going to be a trade. You need to keep those Cyclones alive. Well, once Magfield is done, Cyclones shred the other Cyclones. So SpeCial was able to keep all that alive. He's going to have to go back and repair some of these. One of those Cyclones was 5 HP? Yeah, 5 HP on that Cyclone. Yeah. 7 kills,
More
though.
kills than HP. That's pretty nice. SpeCial is getting up to a bunch of factory production as well. I'd love to see him just go straight up to 7 or 8 factories right now. Since he's on 85 SCVs, he secured this 3rd base very, very quickly. He's got sensor towers. This is looking really nice for SpeCial. And Clem, at this point, he's gotta be thinking like very, very long term in terms of how to win this game. This is not the kind of game that you win with bio. This is the kind of game you win with a big Sky Terran transition in, like, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes from now as Clem.
And we got to remember, if you're playing bio versus mech, much like anything versus mech, your goal is to expand. It's to take the map. It's to realize that you're probably not going to trade super cost effectively, but it's okay because you're up a base, you're up 2 bases, and you're just able to reinforce over and over and over again. But especially, you talked about the supply lead he's got. That is 10 tanks. That is a ton of tanks here for Special. And with Vikings in the sky, he has the air superiority, +1 on mech as well. He's gonna pretty much hit here with a maxed out or nearly maxed out mech army. And because he's attacking, Clem does not have the opportunity to trade remax, go for these big surrounds. This is looking really scary for the Liquid Terran.
It sure is. I like what he's trying to do right here to knock down these rocks, but he's not going to be able to get the opportunity. Tanks will siege up here for Clem, so he's almost kind of going like defensive mech. Ooh, Special will get the win in his little tank duel. He's got more Vikings as well. This is looking really, really nice. Now, it's actually the Cyclone of Clem getting a good lock on right there. And Special kind of overstayed just a little bit with these Vikings. He is going to just narrowly win out in his Viking. No, actually, he's going to lose out. He's going to lose out in the Viking War. I thought he was going to be able to take this. But now there's 3 full energy Ravens. He's going to switch off so many tanks and a huge stim forward of Bio. This is going to be a great cleanup for Clem. Hellbat's not in the front. They weren't able to tank. And this is going to be very, very good for Clem.
You're telling me that Special asks his tanks to tank.
He sure did. Hellion run by in the natural though. 10 SCVs already went down at the 3rd base, and he gets another 13. Clem, he gets a really, really nice army fight, but it's Special who is so far up in army supply, and there's that Widow Mine getting 0 done. Absolutely 0. Those Ravens were a huge factor in that fight. And if Special had just not lost all his Vikings and had kept them with his army, he's still holding this position, I feel. Oh, but this Hellion run by. This is a dagger in the back.
That is so much damage there. We got to remember, despite the fact that, yeah, okay, Special lost his army, he's on enough factories at this point, on 4 bases, on 5 bases, taking the bottom gold. That is, Clem sending his command center, he wants it too, but Special's got first.
You see the green wire frame trying to land right there. Ooh, we see an engagement in the middle. Big lock-ons came in on a couple of the tanks from Special, and he was able to get some good work done. Clem, okay, well, this command center, does it finish up into a planetary? And even if it does it matter? You know what, Hellions, they can actually just run in on top of this and transform into Hellbats. He doesn't even care about that. He's just going to kill the tanks as is. Clem going to scramble back to try and get in position and cover this with his bio, but this is not happening. Not happening at all. And now this command center finishes. I feel like Clem is running out of options in this game.
I mean, Steadfast, a wise man said, look at the supply. That's exactly what, it's 170 supply to 120. Specials up 30 army supply. He's almost at 100 workers. He's sitting here massively. Clem scans north side. I think we might have even seen Clem GG out if Special had the north side base as well. But this army from Special now marauding on forward with all the tanks with 2-1 upgrades, 3-2 on the way. I don't think he has the Viking lead just now. No, he doesn't, but his armor is going to be done soon. That doesn't make up for a lot. But Special leapfrogging on forward. He's orbitals for days, so scans for days here. And Clem has to be, he's about to get put in a chokehold. Question is, can he wriggle on out of it?
I was going to say, Clem needs Liberators right now in order to just stop this push. He gets 1. I think he might even need more than that, though.
Look at the production of Steadfast.
Yeah, 3 Thors. And there's no range for the Liberators. These tanks, they're just going to say, I don't even care what you're doing. He blows the hell out of that one tank. This planetary is going to be sacrificed. Clem cannot hold it. And this is looking like we are going to see a very, very nice start for the Psystorm Gaming Terran.
Oh man, Special is looking in such an incredible spot right now. No medevacs, of course, for these Hellbats. They waddle on forward to their death, but their job is not to do damage. Their job is to effectively be living force fields here for the tanks, living buffers, so the tanks can move forward, they can siege up, they can continue to annihilate everything that Clem holds dear in this game. And now, yes, there's a Liberator. It sieges up. Well done, Clem, but it's only 1. And the Thors now, they're waddling their way across. Vikings arrive, but we need a little bit more than that one. And high impact payload is going to have so much to say, but actually, wait a minute, the tanks are unsieged. They're in Liberator range. They siege up now, but okay, the Thor is going to be able to clean that one off against 1 tank, but that is not really enough, and Clem needs the biggest of surrounds, but with these tanks on the left side, I'm not even sure that's going to work.
Yeah, this is looking extremely scary right now. Clem did secure another base on the 3 o'clock position, but while he's done that, SpeCial's taking that base, that 12 o'clock base. He's about to have +3 done, as well as he's already on 2-2 for his mech. Liberator gonna move forward, gets immediately taken down. Interference Matrix on the Thors means the Liberators can have some effect, but it means the tanks go uncontested, and Clem's army gets obliterated by the mech of SpeCial. Very well done by SpeCial right there, and he puts himself up 1-0 over Clem in this series. Very well done.
Clement? I don't have any, at something, but I don't know. SpeCial looking damn good in game number 1, and it wasn't like he got a lot of damage done in the early game. Normally when we talk about mech, right, it's all about, I need to get X workers. Whatever the what you want to do. I want to get like at least 5 workers, at least 10 workers in the early game. And wait, what? Oh, Hero joined the wrong lobby. I want to make sure that I go and I get X number of workers. This allows me to buy time to get all my stuff up. SpeCial took great advantage of that map, and using the Cyclones to not even necessarily get a lot of damage done, but they pinned Clem back to the point where he could not pressure the mech before it got all set up.
Yeah, he was not able to. Oh, he was not able to exert himself on the map there. And while we didn't see the snipe on a command center, we didn't see, anything material from that. What it did is it created a game state where Clem felt scared to move out, and SpeCial just took advantage of that and went Giga Chad greed. He went up to like 85 SCVs, a 4th base, and had it fully secured before Clem ever felt comfortable to move out. That is unexpected and a really, really cool approach. I'm really impressed with how SpeCial approached all of the strategic decisions in game number 1 there.
Oh yeah, he played it excellently. We're gonna have to see if he can do something similar in a shorter map, because Inside and Out is map 2. In the bottom left hand now, in the blue, he's up 1, playing a masterful TVT in that first game. He's SpeCial.
And his opponent spawning up in the top right for Team Liquid. Can he make the adjustment? It is Clem. And remember, that all started off of a proxy 2-Rax Reaper that got some okay damage. It basically just equalized the game, though. It wasn't enough to put him ahead, really. It pretty much just created a bit of a weird game state, caused Clem to stay on the back foot, and I think that was the game plan. I think that was kind of, Hearthstone had an interview after he beat Hero Marine in DreamHack Valencia. Yeah, DreamHack Masters Valencia, yes. upper group stage for EU.
Yes.
And he said, my game plan was basically to never let him dictate the pace of the game, because as soon as that happens, the game spirals out of control. He's so fast, Hero Marine that is. And Clem, he is another player that is extremely fast. You do not want to let him get the edge in any way. So SpeCial took control of game number 1 and never relinquished it for a second.
In fact, Steadfast, it's funny you bring up Clem, because Hearthstone in that same interview said, yeah, I was able to do that to Hero Marine. I don't think I can do it to Clem. I don't think I can dominate the game state well enough to take his speed away from him. Well, Hearthstone may not have been able to do so, but at least in that first game, SpeCial absolutely did. But if you're Clem, and you say, okay, well, maybe SpeCial's going to play this positioning style, this find enough tempo, Inside and Out is a much shorter map and has far less bases on it. Is do we just see some sort of 2-base aggression coming out of SpeCial here? But B, is that something that maybe takes one tool out of the toolbox that SpeCial's been showing us thus far?
I honestly have no idea. My big question right now is, do we see mech every game out of SpeCial? He is the kind of player who, he's a bit of a, I don't want to call him the mad scientist, because there's so many players that I already refer to as the mad scientist, like Hero specifically is a bit of a mad scientist, but he is definitely he is definitely an experimenter. He is a concoctor. He is a constructionist. He is all kinds of words that aren't really real but sound like they could be. He is someone who experiments and figures things out and does whatever he wants to do. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in this series we see a proxy base somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if we see BCs out of SpeCial. Nothing would actually surprise me, which makes him so difficult to go up against.
It's going to be interesting. You talk about, okay, does SpeCial go mech every game? What does he do? Steadfast, my question, though, do we see a mech game out of Clem at all? And I know that may seem weird. Clem is the bio. If you want to correlate anyone with bio, it is Clem. But I'm just thinking back to the last big TVT we saw Clem play. And I know you cast it, King of Battles 3 against Cure. That Game 5 mech game.
Yeah. That was one of the greatest finishes I have ever seen in a series. Because for so many reasons. First of all, it was Clem's first time, coming back from a series like that. It was his first time beating a truly world-class TVT player in a highly significant series. Obviously he's beaten Hero Marine a fair number of times in weekly cups, but I would put beating Cure as in like the round of 8 of a major tournament. I would put that as like a big accolade, a big notch in his belt. And the actual fight itself was like 275 or 180 supply armies just smashing into each other. It was an amazing, amazing fight. And it was an amazing series. And it was really cool to see. And it was on Curious Minds of all maps. Oh, man. Okay. Well,
SpeCial
we
tactics.
filled enough time. Yeah, there it is. We are going to be seeing a double starport opener. SpeCial is going to look to overwhelm his opponent's Viking count, as far as I can tell, because yeah, he's setting up to put this on the reactor. And look at this, we've got Clem also going for a second starport. Oh my god!
Is that just how you're supposed? Is that just how you're supposed to play this map? Like, okay, we saw a little bit more of this in the Latin American finals, where Kellizer was bringing this out against SpeCial to decent effect, where he took some maps off of him. But I mean, there is. Let's think about this, Steadfast. What makes this map particularly good for the Viking players? Of course, SpeCial does scan the main base, but did not see that second starport.
No, he did not. So I look at one position on this map. I see you can put a tank right here. It hits this gas geyser. You might even be able to hit the second. I don't think so, but you might be able to hit the second gas geyser from there. At the very least, you can theoretically leapfrog with medevacs. We are going to be seeing an aggressive move coming in from SpeCial, I should say, with the push. Scan comes in. He does see the second starport. Oh my goodness. The difference of these scans and the difference of the positioning on this is huge. And we see an instant engineering bay. He might throw down turrets, even with his own double Viking production. Or, well, I mean, I guess it's triple Viking production, 3 Vikings at a time. He might throw down turrets, and I actually think that's such a wise decision. SpeCial may end up finding himself very confused as to why his opponent just has more. Or an equal number.
I think the one thing we got to point out here, though, SpeCial does have 3 Ravens to 2, so there's a world where SpeCial doesn't...
You can't lose it.
Okay, he's fine. Trades a Viking for a Viking, but yeah, he's not going to push in. I was about to say, there's a world where SpeCial just bombs in, disables all the tanks, and says, yeah, you got more Viking, you have equal Viking count. That's fine. I'm just not going to let it matter. But now that Raven gets so damn low, I feel like you run it. I mean, the rush distance is really short. Maybe you just run an SCV across the map, drop a mule, something like that. But the Ravens go forward. Ooh. I mean, if you're flowering, you're fine, because then you're able to just not get hit. But the Vikings, the Reapers in the main base here are going to force a Viking land, and Clem is just going to sacrifice those for the cause. But he does get half damage on a Viking, and in the balance of things, if Clem or if SpeCial does not repair that, that is already a nice advantage, a nice setup that you have for Clem in the next fight.
Yeah, you said the potential of like interference matrixing all of the tanks and just running on in. I think I would have liked that. It just land the Vikings, set up a big concave, go for it. Drop those interference matrices and drop as many auto turrets as you can that are left over. The only problem is if Clem responds very quickly, and he like lands his Vikings fast. He gets the auto turrets down. Then it gets very, very difficult. But I don't know. It's 2 base to 3 right now. We're going to see him going for it. The auto turrets will get spammed out, but I think not enough of them on the side of SpeCial. Clem has so many auto turrets left over, and he is going to just barely... Yeah, he's going to win the Viking fight. Oh, this is going to be such a huge advantage for Clem. He's going to be able to close this one out off the back of that. He gets one of the... Either that was the greatest read of all time, or he just got so lucky with the way these builds ran into each other. But really, really fortunate situation here for Clem.
And one thing we got to point out, SpeCial had 1 extra Raven, right? Which seems great, except I think actually it died. I don't think SpeCial got all of his auto turrets out. It did feel like there were more auto turrets for Clem than SpeCial, despite the extra Raven. But that also meant he had 1 less Viking. In 2-port versus 2-port, he was 11 Vikings to 10, 12 Vikings to 11. So he was never going to win the air battle. He was not able to find value with those Ravens. And I mean, you talked about him being on 2 bases. That wasn't all in, and well, sometimes you go all in, and sometimes you get all out. And SpeCial got all outed in that game number 2.
Yeah, and he was there was really no coming back from that one. The 3rd command center for Clem was so much faster. When you commit that heavily to the Vikings and you don't win out the air battle, or at the very least maintain parity, it's going to be extremely difficult. He'd lost all his Ravens. I believe Clem had kept... I think he might have kept both of his Ravens alive, actually. I'm not sure, but either way, the supply lead actually doesn't even tell the tale of how far ahead Clem was in that position. Like he was 20 supply up, but he was effectively much farther ahead than 20 supply would ever suggest. It was a massive advantage for Clem, and a very appropriately timed GG from SpeCial against a player of Clem's caliber. You're almost never coming back from that.
He was down a base, down all the tech in his army. Yeah, just... No, GG next. The build didn't work. That's fine. We're going to find our way into map 3 now. Tropical Sacrifice. And again, I'm going to keep saying this, man. I love at least the aesthetics of the new pool. It's so pretty. Let's get into game 3. In the upper right-hand side of the map here in the red, he stomped the all-in from his opponent in game number 2 for Team Liquid, Clem.
And his opponent, spawning down to the bottom left for Storm Gaming. It is Juanito. Spam this Dorito to help out Juanito. And I believe we're going to be seeing a 1-Rax expand out of SpeCial. He's going for the gas first. I would be extremely surprised if it is going to be gas barracks gas. We did see you Thermal go for that from versus Beyond, and he went for that, like, basically 1 base, not quite all in, but it's a very, very dedicated pressure. You get 1-1-1 off of 1 base. Your command center is basically being built as the push is going into your opponent's base. You need to get a lot done, and yeah, it didn't quite get enough done to put him ahead. SpeCial misplacing his barracks just slightly. Not a big deal, but I mean, not great either. You don't want that. But yeah, it's just going to be a 1-Rax expand out of SpeCial, and that's really greedy.
That it is. Maybe he just feels like he can get away with it on this map. I mean, Tropical Sacrifice is definitely one of the bigger maps we have in the pool, at least for the first 4 bases. You know, it's interesting, actually, and I know I keep talking about this, but it's the hallmark of this new pool where, you know, some pools you have a couple maps that's kind of okay to get 5 bases, but I don't remember a map pool in recent memory where it is so easy to get 4 on most maps, while also so hard to get that 5th one. So maybe SpeCial says, yeah, you know, my core situation here, the rush distance is long enough. We're fine. We're okay.
I think it's less to do with rush distance and more to do with playing the player than anything. He knows that Clem is going to be confident, and Clem traditionally has been a player that plays very, very safely. So this is a good situation. Man, that Reaper really had performance anxiety. It really did not want to jump to the high ground. Oh man, that's the most jumps I've seen on a single cliff in like a 7-second. Like, you had the Reaper jump up, jump back down, jump up again, jump back down, jump up again, and then jump all the way out. And then SpeCial's Reaper showed up like 3 seconds later, jumped down, and then jumped back up.
Did it jump up and get down, though, as now the Reapers, they find their way on in? With Hellion here, though, this is really not going to get all that much. I mean, you certainly don't have critical mass to deal with a Hellion early on. So SpeCial seems like, for the most part, he's getting away with getting just a little bit greedier. His command center already on location. The orbital will be done even before the command center of Clem. So as we move on, Steadfast, we got to ask ourselves, is there pressure that Clem is going to be able to put on with the next round of his tech that will look to punish this? Because right now we have 3 Reapers on the other side of the map. Only a single Hellion, though. So 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion pressure not really going to be allowed. And Hellions are by far the significantly more important thing. It's line them up there. Yeah, this is not... Yeah, get 2 Reapers. No damage from the 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion push. And Clem behind this. Cyclone is on the way. SpeCial, actually, he's going for a bit of a Banshee play.
He sure is. Going to be busting this out here. Now, the big question as a follow-up will be, how many Cyclones do we see out of Clem? If it's only 1. Oh, that grenade was very optimistic. There was no way that was getting away. Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be a special trademark, a trademark special move. So he is going for Cloak Banshee. He is going for Magfield Accelerator. He is going to go into Hyperflight Rotors. He's going to go Speed Banshees. He's going to use these Cyclones similarly to the way he tried to use them in game number 1. And he's going to go mech off of this. This kind of answers the question that I asked in game 2, because game 2 was really, it wasn't so much a mech opener as it was almost a 2-base all-in. But this is going to be a mech opener in game number 3.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense on this map. The natural is, I mean, that's a big ramp. It's kind of hard to push up into it. And then you have ramps defending the core 4 bases. Maybe it's less of a ramp on the linear 3rd, or the linear 4th, whatever you want to call it. But even still, it's really easy to take these 4 bases, and Mech wants to be able to get up to 8 gas. They want to be able to have positions where they can defend appropriately. But now the Banshee looking to fly on in. As you said, Hyperflight Rotors are on the way. 1 SCV will fall down to start. Oh, man. SpeCial wishes he could have gotten that mule, but with Banshees and Cyclones and all those wonderful things, you got to back up for now. But SpeCial, you talk about, I mean, this tech that he's building, if Clem is not prepared, this is really difficult to deal with, just the pressure that SpeCial can put on.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really big nuisance. And the thing is, you would think that the Banshee. Oh wow, he cloaked up the Banshee. Why? Oh, that's a huge waste. He should definitely switch that cloak. Okay, no, never mind. He wants to hit with a multi-prong. The problem is Raven Cyclone. Okay, well this is just gonna be a very expensive loss right here. He will get 3 SCVs. That was not a great trade. You don't want to lose a Banshee for that. Yeah, no, you would think that the value of these Banshees would diminish over time, but with Hyperflight Rotors, they are so speedy. They get around the map so quickly, and they can get so much done. Just, they're able to accrue value over time. So that's why I'm really a little bit sad that he lost that one. They get such a huge power spike when they get that speed upgrade, really until there's like a lot of stimmed Marines on the map.
And even then, if they're not fighting Marines necessarily, they're just looking to play on the edge of things. I mean, they can just run away from stim Marines. Banshees or Hyperflight Banshees, I believe, are literally the fastest thing in the game. Maybe Lings are faster, but certainly anything in the air that can deal with them, I mean, they just outrun everything.
I think they're about on par with Mutas, and I think
faster than
Phoenixes. They're faster than Mutas?
They're faster than Mutas.
Wow. That's so silly. I think that they are on par with Phoenixes, and I think Phoenixes can.
Oh, I love this.
Phoenixes are really the best way to deal with it, and this is the kind of pickoff that we're talking about. Getting a siege tank, so nice. It even gets a spotter Marine here. That's something Clem's gonna have to put back there in position. It blinds him a little bit. This is such a nuisance, and he might even get a Marauder here, which is out. Oh no, he's not able to get enough DPS, but he finds another SCV. These are such annoying pickoffs for Clem to deal with.
They really are. Now, of course, SpeCial loses some activity, or some lose some agency while Cloak is done. You're gonna have to wait for that one to build the energy back up. But SpeCial continues to build them. SpeCial continues to build Banshees here. I think the critical number he normally goes through is about 6 Banshees, and he's up at 4 right now. I mean, he would almost be there at the moment, but he has found himself in a fantastic spot. He's up a base on the bio player once again. And it just seems Clem is a little slow in understanding what's happening, or just feels too much pressure. So SpeCial is punishing this. It did it in game 1, doing it in game 3 as well. And if you're a mech player and you're up in economy, it really, the game does feel like it's your oyster.
It feels so good. Oh, this spotting depot, very, very nice. But he's going to lose it. It won't supply block Clem. In fact, he's already building 3 more depots. So, you know, he's really, really chilling in terms of supply. Almost a laser depots, but not really. They're just really well timed. This is so uncomfortable. Now I do. Oh, nice. He's going to find the interception on one of these Banshees. And that tells him where the Banshees are as well. Clem did something really nice where he actually split his Vikings and Ravens into 2 separate kind of areas. Meanwhile, kind of a weird little ping pong war with the Cyclones. It does end up with SpeCial losing one of his Cyclones to Clem's lock-on. Some good micro from Clem, able to break the relevant lock-ons and keep his units alive. SpeCial still hunting around, and now he actually is going to go after some of these Marines. Oh, but he wants to pull back. He does lose one of those Banshees. If he was a little bit quicker on the draw, he could have saved all 4. But Clem will be able to get at least a bit of a consolation pick off on one of those Banshees.
Yeah, that works out. For a minute, I mean, like, look, you lose 1 Banshee, but you just lost a lot of bio, and realistically, those Banshees have found so much value in this game. But Clem, I do like this. If you cannot go and you can't beat the economy of your opponent all that easily, again, his expansion rate just not really there, go into the late game. Go into Sky Terran. Just skip this period of the map, or this period of the game where SpeCial is strongest, and then go Mass Raven. Mass Raven absolutely invalidates pretty much anything a mech player wants to do. You just kind of disable it. So now we're going to have to see whether SpeCial, with this push that's happening right now with all these tanks, whether he's going to be able to make something happen. Clem, though, setting up for a big surround.
He sure is right now, and I don't know that Clem actually wants to take this fight. If he could if he could scan right here and see these 2 back tanks and dropped in on top of them and then flanked it, they would be such a nice setup. How many Ravens do we have on both sides? It is 2 Ravens to 1. This feels like a little bit of a neither player wants to engage right here situation. The Banshees, they would love to pick in and, you know, kind of poke away at the edges of those tanks, but it's actually going to be just the tanks of SpeCial doing a little bit better. They get 2 kills for 1. Oh man, this feels like such a wide open area, and it feels like Clem should be able to find a good engagement, but so far the tank line of SpeCial has been very nice and deep and has been able to prevent anything from kind of coming to fruition.
It really has. So we talk about this map, about how hard it is to get a 5th. Well, SpeCial does have his 5th base on the way. We're going to have to see if it works out for him. And he's also realized that this game is not ending anytime soon, so additional starports are on the way. But Clem not going for the Mass Raven idea that I would have expected. Instead, no, it's a lot of Vikings, of course, but Fusion Core going down. He's going to go Liberator range to try to just break down these tank lines. I mean, if it's a timing, if it works out, it works out. But I worry that's kind of a slim timing, considering SpeCial is also getting his additional starports, and at a certain point, it just becomes a bit of a problem. But now here comes SpeCial. He's going to get Hellbats on top of this. This planetary is going to be dead in 2 volleys. There we go. The tanks knocked that one down. A bit of an optimistic repair there, Steadfast.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice maneuver from SpeCial. He caught Clem completely out of position. The thing is, I don't think he needs to push right now. There are Liberators here for Clem, and that's going to cost SpeCial like 3 tanks. SpeCial should have just disengaged right here. Losing 3 tanks is really, really not ideal. And now the Banshees, I guess he's at the point where he wants to trade them out anyways. But, I mean, you would have loved to have gotten a little bit more value than that. But still, killing off this 4th base is gigantic. SpeCial is building a 6th base on location. He has had his 5th base undeterred. I agree, it's super difficult to secure a 5th base on this map. But Clem, he's had no control of this situation. Oh, this might be a brutal anti-timing for Clem, but SpeCial, he's a little bit unsieged right now. Huge interference matrices on the bottom side, and the Vikings land in on top of this. Oh man, that was a really, really good engagement right there for Clem. I would say it might be a bit of an anti-timing, pitting in as his opponent's 2-2 finishes on the mech, but SpeCial was not prepared for that fight, and he loses so much of his mech army. Brilliant engagement for Clem. He's building 6 Liberators at a time.
Oh, and one thing we got to remember, of course, this is a fight on SpeCial's side of the map. The last time this happened, SpeCial said, okay, maybe it's not going to work out here, but I have the length of a map to build another army. I'm going to be okay. This time, though, SpeCial loses so much on his side, but look at those Thor shots. Well, actually, no, that is high impact payload. It just looked like Splash with how much damage they were getting done. SpeCial, 6 Vikings at a time, 5 tanks at a time here. You give him enough time with the 6 bases that he has. Yes, it was a fantastic fight for Clem. We look at resources lost, and he's actually ahead in resources lost against the meching player, which is not where SpeCial wants to be, but you give SpeCial enough time. He is going to be at that near max out once again. He is going to have enough tanks. He's going to be able to hold this position once again. And the thing we got to remember, all of the Ravens of Clem are gone. He has 8 Vikings. That's about it. Well, I guess he's got 8 Liberators as well. But in terms of air dominance, it really is only these 8 Vikings. Nothing to really deal with the tanks. Oh, blind, one more shot. Oh, my God.
7 kills right there on that one Hellion. I think there was only like 2 or 3. Yeah, there was 2 Hellions, and he killed 12 SCVs for it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and now we see, oh, no, the drop. He's going to lose one of the medevacs almost fully loaded. Other one will be able to fully evacuate, but he will ultimately lose it. And there's a lot of Liberators in the air. SpeCial does need to be a little bit careful with his Vikings against the splash damage, and he certainly needs to be careful with these Thors. But actually, these Liberators, they're going to be way too much. SpeCial should not have been pushing up this ramp. That was a bit of a fool's errand right there. He still will be able to disengage with this, and because he's been so ahead in economy, Clem is still in a really rough spot, but let's take a look at the Viking count. It is even, and oh man, Clem, he's still building Liberators. He needs to be switching back into pure Viking. And I actually think, in SpeCial's case right now, I think you leave like 2 or 3 of the Thors in their splash damage mode.
Yeah, we saw those Liberators run in, and they were very clumped up. But, well, high impact payload is I guess the higher average play in terms of what you're able to get done. But look at this. SpeCial, he's not even moving into +3 mech. Well, no, I'm sorry, he is. That's Clem is moving into +1 air attack. So he's increasing the value of his Vikings. But for right now, I mean, it's +2 armor Vikings versus +0 Vikings attack twice. Armor is such an important upgrade in that engagement. And SpeCial, I believe he has taken he's kind of taken the Viking lead 15-14, but it is 6 Thors on the map. I'm actually not sure. Do Thors, when we talk about Liberator range, do Thors don't outrange that anymore, right? It's much like the kind of the Colossus idea.
It's like, I want to say it's extremely close, but if the Liberators can technically outrange them, I believe, but there's very, very rare situations where you're actually able to outrange them. He shift clicks back in. Meanwhile, we see... Wait, where is that? Oh, okay, there's a couple Hellions on the right side. That's an orbital, so that is very vulnerable to Hellion run-bys later. SpeCial really wants to fight with his 3-3. He does not want to fight before that upgrade setup, and we are going to be seeing, a couple of Liberators getting obliterated by SpeCial's Vikings here. Clem does have the numbers, but those Thors underneath, especially now that their +3 weapons is done, they hit like a goddamn truck against anything in the air.
And we also got to remember, I mean, Clem's been doing a good job. He's finding advantages in this game, but he is still down a base. SpeCial has been forced to spend his bank multiple times, but it is built back up once again. And this is actually so cool. Look at what SpeCial, he's got drilling claws on the way, but hold that thought because we got a fight kicking off here. So many Liberators starting to fall, but they get their sieges up anyways. Thor's on the edge of things. Actually, they're going to force the Liberators back. Look at the Sky Army of Clem. It's so damaged here. And now SpeCial's found his way on in, but the Vikings are fighting without Thor support, and you do really want those Thors fighting on in when you have committed to them as hard as you are now. Clem going to siege up tank on the backside where the Vikings can't really find their way in. And it is a significant Viking lead now for Clem. But the Thors on the orbital just barely. No, the repair's gonna be good enough. Oh my.
The repair was so clutch. That must have dropped to like 20 HP at some point. That was so low. I can't. Oh, wow. Wow, Kobe right there. That was a long range. So I would love to see smart servos hot swap between the Thors high. As soon as you see everything clump up, switch everything into the splash damage mode, you might obliterate this entire air fleet in one volley.
I mean, he does have high. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, like, because he's got the the smart servos, but he's not going to do it right now. But there's actually no tanks here. He's going to get caught unsieged, unprepared, and SpeCial's going to lose everything again. Brilliant engagement from Clem. SpeCial didn't have the siege tanks there that he needed. Meanwhile, during all this, he was denying mining at this base, but how much more valuable would it have been if those 3 tanks were in the fight?
You know, Steadfast, one thing we got to point out here, I've been operating under the assumption that Clem had Liberator range. Right, that just makes sense, but he doesn't. God. He does not have Lib range. That is actually such a big deal in this game as the bats that run in, they annihilate tanks surprisingly quickly, but now they're a little bit trapped. There's not, please don't hurt me, please. But this army from Clem now finding its way in. That air army, it's so bruised, but it's still damn strong. But the tanks, they gotta micro their way on out. Thor is high impact payload. That just seems to be.
Flash splash, please. He's still going to be able to burn through the Liberators, actually. Clem coming in late on the other side, and the Thors, they may not be as... Oh, here's something we don't see every day. Cyclone lock-on. How is that Cyclone? Is that a new Cyclone? Has he lost? Okay, he's lost 3 Cyclones. Yeah, that's a new Cyclone, I think. I think that's an oopsie-poopsie Cyclone, like an I didn't mean to build this, but I accidentally did. Meanwhile, Liberator on the bottom side got 9 kills. Oh, man, this game is electric.
And now we talk about economic lead. Yes, SpeCial has had these bases for longer, but it's only, he briefly was on the same number of SCVs against. How often is it, Steadfast, that we see a meching player, they spend their mineral bank, but their gas bank is still massively intact?
And they're on 8 orbitals. He can just mule the crap out of this bottom base in order to make use of that gas bank effectively. Actually, did he mule somewhere, or is he... Oh, okay, here it is. Here's the mule hammer. Oh, let's take a look at that income. Oof.
Actually,
getting
you know what?
Close to 4K
we saw it. There we go.
minute.
All right, but okay, this little bit, it feels like Clem wants to get rid of his bio at this point. We're seeing him, he's building a little bit more, but look at the units. He's got 16 Marines, 8 Marauders. Ooh, fighting in this planetary before it's done is really nice. It's only 5 workers, but it is something. Now Clem's going to try to find his way around, but planetary absolutely has range. But look at that. Vikings actually landed for a second, I think, trying to knock down some tanks, but that means they ate a lot of shots here. So now the Vikings of SpeCial are going to try to find their way on in. These Thors, remember folks, 3/3 Thors, they do more DPS than a bunch of DTs, and they're going to try to wall this little bit of Clem's army away. And here comes the army of SpeCial.
It is certainly moving on forward. Still no lib range here, but it's still going to be enough to push these units back. Eventually, he has to realize that his Liberators aren't setting up as far as they should be, right? He's got to realize these Thors, they're going to get repulsed. Another clutch repair. Oh, and now the SCV pull coming on in. We are going to see a wraparound on this Liberators. Are there enough to deal with the Thors? I actually don't think so. Oh, it's so close, but the bio on the ground is going to be able to clean this up. And not as many SCVs going down as you would have expected. Great fight for Clem once again. And this might be it for SpeCial. He might have lost too many times. We're seeing a Terran player, the Bio Sky Terran player, out trading the mech player here.
That is, I know you're harping on it. Thors in high impact payload mode it feels like it's just making the difference in this game. You get Thors to deal with the sky, but it's just not doing enough. And now here comes again the army of Clem. Can he get economic damage done? Because despite everything, SpeCial has been mining more really this entire game. Liberator are going to siege up that base. So for a moment, we do see the mineral income spike for Clem. But as the Hellbats, as the tanks, as the Thors look to chase this army down from Clem, it looks like SpeCial's going to be able to keep himself alive. Yes, 11 workers go down, but he can build innumerable SCVs at a time at this point. So now SpeCial running out on the map once again. He only has 4 tanks. Yes, 4 Thors are good, but they die with tremendous alacrity to these Marauders on the map here. So yeah, you know, they're good and they do a lot of damage, but in the concave, well, that is the problem. But again, SpeCial, despite everything, he's leading in supply once again.
Yeah. You know what I'd really love to see, by the way? First of all, high-sec auto-tracking. That would be really useful against these Liberators, especially since he's going for the turret response. But what I'd love to see is more of a focus on Hellions and Hellbats. He is starting to get back into them now. But I feel like there was a moment as he was chasing that Bioforce away, he could have actually used his smart servers to get in on top of the bio. He's going to push down the ramp here, will obliterate this siege tank of Clem. And yeah, I feel like in this situation, Hellbats have been the missing component in a couple of these fights. And now that he has them, you can't jump in on top of these Thors and find them easily exposed as to the same degree as he's been able to do in the past. And this is looking still very scary here for Clem. Massive stim coming on in. The Thors are gonna try and deal with the Liberators in the air. There's only one Liberator left. Clem, can he break through here? The answer is maybe, but even if he can, it's an at what cost situation. Another 15 SCVs went down. So many forces died right there for Clem. And during all this, Hellions, they are getting so much havoc on that base on the right side.
What a hell of a game we're dealing with this year. Ebbs and flows, seesaws all over the place. It's like, well, Clem has a big advantage. SpeCial has a SpeCial Clem back and forth. I mean, part of it is Tropical Sacrifice. With how hard it is to hold these outlying bases, I mean, in fairness, we haven't seen a lot of bases go down. Both players have been doing a fantastic job at making sure they do hold that. But even still, the map is so wide open in the middle that it's really hard for SpeCial to push. He's just so open to surrounds. But it's also really hard for Clem to end the game once he takes that fight in the middle, because the core area is so heavily choked on up as the Marines on the right side. They're going to kill a lot of SCVs. You talked about high-tech auto-tracking. Look at how... it's literally taking one damage
armor
at a time.
Oh my god. Oh, this Marauder. Oh my god. And now two more Marauders show up. Oh man. That is actually really... Oh god, the Planetary. This is really big damage, actually. Finally, a Hellion comes in and cleans it up. And whenever someone tells you upgrades don't matter, you show them that. Because armor is very, very good against SCVs that don't get any attack upgrades. As I say that, though, we are going to see these Hellions, and they will be able to kind of jump in on top of this army and muscle it back. DreamHack goes down, and SpeCial, he is going to suddenly, and almost it feels like unexpectedly suddenly, take the game right there. Clem, he just runs out of money, and I mean, runs out of gas.
Holy shit. Like, what a game. 25 minutes. I had no idea who was going to win that game until, I mean, maybe at the very end you're saying, okay, SpeCial's up a lot of supply here. But what a game.
This is an amazing game and an amazing series so far. SpeCial has come ready to play. He has come absolutely loaded for bear and finds himself now a single map from the round of 8. That would be a phenomenal result in this tournament. And I gotta say, if Clem were to go down here, that would be a really, really painful defeat for him, given, I think, given the expectations we had for him. This is only his 3rd series that he's playing at Valencia. He won 2-0 versus Botvinnik, 2-0 versus Mio Micah, two players that are, I mean, obviously Mio Micah particularly did pretty well. He beat Harstam, but 2 players that, like, you don't even really think of as, like, group stage 3 caliber players necessarily for a tournament like this. So it's already, like, feels like a weird situation for Clem. And now he's on the verge of getting knocked out by SpeCial. What a weird tournament this would end up being if Clem does end up going down here.
This was, oh man. Clem getting knocked out in the round of 16 would be a massive disappointment, but also, man, you talk about it. Agreed. What a result for SpeCial. But the players have requested a break after game 3. This is, of course, acceptable. Okay. We're going to go to a brief break as well. And when we're back, well, it's going to be game 4.
Only 16 players remain here now for DreamHack Valencia, and guess what? It's an excellent time because, yes, Pig is casting Dark. He is going to be on the edge of his seat as we continue things here for DreamHack Valencia. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the desk. I have myself, Wardy, as well as Muslim, the lads crew here from the UK, doing what we can. Lads on tour. Wardy, coming in, of course, now our round of 16 shaping up to be great. We're already kind of have Clem and SpeCial already going on, so lots of things happening here. A great round of 16.
It's a beautiful round of 16. We got some Terrans, Zergs, and Protoss. No one's underrepresented, I would say, so far as well. And yeah, some of it's even starting over on the B stream, where we're lagging a little bit behind, but only because we've had such great games so far.
That's right, that's right. Let's take a look at that bracket in full here. And as you mentioned, in terms of the racial distribution, quite even, to say the least. However, this is the point in the tournament, Ben, where we get rid of as many Terrans as possible, because it's par for the course.
Yeah, we've got them all going up against each other, and one of them going up against Reno. I mean, I was outside and talking with Bunny a little bit. He's like, does ESL hate me? And I was like, oh, wait, what? And he's like, Beyond, then Reno, then probably Baru. Like, that is a ridiculous part of the bracket for him.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That took me for a little bit of a loop there. I didn't expect that. But yeah, now looking at the bracket, it is a little bit rough. But I mean, even looking at how things are shaping up here, there is the potential for an amazing round of 8, considering all of the combatants that we have going into this. But our focus is going to, of course, be on Dark versus Estrella. Estrella has just come off the back of a 3-0 in the matchup. Very different caliber of players, I think is fair to say, though.
Different caliber of players, sure, but you know what? Dark likes to be a bit cheeky. Me and Michael likes to be a bit cheeky. I kind of like that for Estrella. It's like he's got rid of some nonsense already, and yeah, he's going to have to play against some very standard and strong stuff from Dark as well. But maybe he's a bit warmed up to some of the sillier things and maybe some of the things that Dark likes to throw in every now and again. Maybe he's just ready to deal with that.
I feel this is a little bit like beating a Zergling and then going up against an Ultralist. But, you know, like it's a massive disparity between them. Like, me and Micah, for all intents and purposes, was one of the weaker opponents for Schreier to get. And he bopped him like he would.
Yes.
And he is very well trained in his PvZ. He spent some time in Korea as well, more than most Americans. So maybe... And I actually remember the first time that I was really impressed by Estrella was him playing against Dark in GSL. He lost 2-0, but he looked really good doing it. So this is kind of like a nice clash from the, splash from the past.
Yeah, definitely so, definitely so. While we listen to the Hula Aliens, once again, you guys in the Twitch chat can vote as to who you think is good. You've turned it off as soon as I've called it out. What's going on? Same time. Hashtag Dart or hashtag asked for this one as well. Oh, I see, because we've gone into a different section, so you've moved to different music. I liked the Hula Aliens. Can we bring the Hula Aliens back? Anyway, so yeah, between these two, going to be a good match, I think, is for certain, and we'll tally up your vote a little later on, as always. All right, so actually I think we're almost ready to hear from these guys as well, because these two coming into the tournament, they're interesting, of course. Dark, we always like hearing from him. For a long time, he wasn't that kind of considerate of foreigners.
Hey folks, we're back off the break, and actually the game is already loading in, so we're gonna get into that one in just a second. As a reminder, SpeCial's up 2-1. He's got some incredible builds. He's looking really good. So we're gonna have to see now on a map that feels like it's probably pretty good for Mech, whether it is gonna be a game that SpeCial's gonna be able to take, or whether Clem has what it takes to bring us to game number 5. Folks, game 3, it's here. In the upper left, spam that Dorito. He is Juanito.
And his opponent, spawning up at the top right for Team Liquid. We know he's got the chops, but can he turn it on here? It is Clem. This is really the moment where the rubber meets the road. and he has to dig deep and find that gear, find that, you know, determination. This is the anime protagonist moment where, you know, he's been beaten, he's been battered, he's been bloody. He just wasn't able to make it happen in game number 3, and now he really needs to find that Super Saiyan and be able to imitate some of his online results and make it happen in an offline setting.
Yeah, something we forget about is Clem has played in exactly one offline event, really, since he's gotten good. He played in some DreamHacks. There's some really cute pictures of him back before DreamHack was part of the WCS circuit, so we could have younger players playing it, like sitting on books as like 13-year-old Clem. But, you know, that's not where we are right now. This is really one of his only 2 big offline events since he has ascended to the tippy top of the European mountain. And that's a lot of pressure when you're expected to be good, when you're expected to make round of 4, when you have fans coming to cheer explicitly for you. We don't talk about it all that much, but that's an extra mitigating factor that is not easy to deal with. Ooh, SpeCial. He got the first shot here, so he's going to try to dive on top, but KDA charge forces the disengage.
Yeah, nice job right there from Clem. I do agree. I think that the RNG, because I think SpeCial's Reaper might have just popped out like 2 seconds earlier, and older units do beat newer units in terms of how they put that tiny little like 0.001 second faster shot. Because there is just the smallest amount of RNG in the game, and it's decided by whichever unit was created first. Clem able to disengage though, so good grenade, keeps him alive, avoids any big significant problems. But yeah, no, the one event that Clem has attended in person really didn't go the way he wanted it to. It was a tough tournament at IEM Katowice. He did not have the greatest result. He was in one of the hardest groups we've ever seen at a tournament like that, in terms of just overall skill level, in terms of like everyone's Ligulac rating. It was the group of death. Maybe like 1 or 2 other groups in GSL like history compared, and you could argue we're even, you know, more difficult than that, but it was most certainly up there.
Now, Steadfast, one thing I think is really interesting as we look into this game a little bit, we see SpeCial taking the normal natural, but Clem has opted to take the pocket one, which, by the way, that is one of the reasons why this map is so good for Terran players. It's because you can put your command center down, mine with almost full efficiency, while you do, of course, wait to clear that out. But Clem is not moving the... Well, he's waiting for... Nope, I'm Clem?
He dropped the...
Clem?
We got to talk about this build, by the way. This is going to be a 4 Marine medevac tank drop. And I didn't think about it. I've been thinking about tank positions in TVZ this whole time. A tank dropped right here? That's a really scary position to have to deal with a tank. Now, wait, can you not drop it? You should be able to drop it there, no? Oh, I feel like I limit tested this somewhere. Oh, really nice Cyclone lock-on. Got a lot of damage onto that medevac. That's very, very valuable. But he's going to be able to deny this add-on. He's going to be able to kill off this depot. This is nasty to deal with.
I mean, I think we're going to see the Raven go in. Does it have energy for a disable?
Got 73 energy. It'll have it in like a... He's actually going to go in basically as the Raven hits that energy, I think.
He will
lose. Going to cost him a tech lab.
I mean, that's not the big... Actually, look at how well Clem that has timed out. He knows what's happening. But here comes the army of SpeCial on the bottom side. Cleans it all up. Not the drop necessarily, but he gets the stuff on the other side.
Yeah, he does. That's a good job. Oh, target fire on the medevac. Very nice job. Very nice job right there from SpeCial. But Clem even saved the Marines to lift them up to the high ground. We will see this getting cleaned up by SpeCial here. Really nice Cyclone lock-on right there, and he keeps it alive. Well done. Well done right there by SpeCial. Now, of course, the big question we have to ask, Mech. Is it going to be Mech once again? He's already taken 2 games with that. He tried that cheeky two starport basically all in the previous series. Ooh, kind of a nice scout. He sees that Marines are rallying into this. Oh my God, this command center. Yo, it's got to finish, right? Okay, yeah, it will finish, no problem. Oh my God, he's going to take the engage here. That's not the best move. He loses a Raven, wastes a fair bit of energy, and I think he loses a couple Cyclones too. Yeah, he got like nothing for that.
No,
Why did SpeCial take that fight?
It feels like he maybe felt like he had to, because it's just so far away from taking the other third base. Now, at Steadfast, it also looks like we're having some issues with the broadcast. Not on our side, but we upload to somewhere that uploads it to somewhere else, and it looks like that intermediary is struggling. So, folks, if you can hear this, please stay with us. The game is gonna continue, but it does look like.
Should we ask an admin for a pause?
I will message that. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, holy crap! They are okay. Their PC exploded. Oh wow! That is quite clearly what has happened here. That's a wow.
Can you? The question is whether we can be heard.
We need to message on Discord for sure.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. For now, I'm going to talk about what's happening in this game. We do have Mech, in fact, out of SpeCial. This is going to be difficult to deal with. Yeah, no, I think we have to pause it. This is too important of a match. Yeah. As it stands right now, Clem is in a very, very good situation. He is up in supply. He's got his double upgrades on the way. This is the first time that we're going into this mech situation with a lead for Clem, as opposed to for SpeCial, or at the minimum even. But I honestly, I would say that SpeCial was in a lead in both games 1 and 3 when it went into that mech play. And the fact that Clem was able to still make it very close is a very, very good, it's a very good sign for Clem overall. SpeCial, I mean, this is going to be tough, because it may be more difficult for him to identify how much worse of a position he is in than he was in games number 1 and 3. We do have the command center low landed on the pocket third, as opposed to that normal base. And we're going to see Clem starting to move out here. Or, well, you guys might see it. You guys maybe will kind of see it. I don't know. We'll see. Already Clem getting into an additional starport, by the way. We are going to see, the Vikings wandering into each other, but it's going to be SpeCial, who is way down in firepower there. The Marines on the ground helping it a lot, and Clem got the first shot. Now, a couple more Vikings do show up here for SpeCial, so he's able to take down a couple of his opponent's Vikings, but the Ravens have so much energy for Clem, and he is going to drop a couple of interference matrices, going to get these tanks into a really good spot, drops the auto turrets, and this might be a lift forced out of this third base. And in fact, all those tanks are going to go down for SpeCial, and Clem will even the series at 4 apiece.
That was, oh man, I don't know what's up. There was some issue. My internet looked fine. Everything else looked fine, but there was some issue between my internet and the ingest server, and the tubes got clogged. This weekend is cursed. There were issues with the internet in Valencia. I don't know, but what I do know is that we're ready finally. Game number 5 is going to be Moondance. It's 2-2 on the series. This is game 5. SpeCial is a very real shot of knocking down Clem, which is not something I think I had on my scorecard going into this series. We're going to have to see what they have in store for us. One final game. Moondance is the map. In the upper left now, in the red. He took games 1 and 3, fell in the latter 2. Precise Storm, SpeCial.
And his opponent, spawning down on the bottom right for Team Liquid. It is the Frenchman, Clem. Malem. This is a really, really important matchup for both of these players. Obviously, getting into the round of 8 of a tournament of this caliber is huge. It's the kind of thing that can make your entire year. So it's a really, really big deal to get there. It will really, really give both of them a boost in terms of trying to qualify for IEM Katowice in 2023. This is a massive, massive battle right here. Like, they are really, really looking to get this done. And Clem, for him, who had a pretty disappointing IEM Katowice, this would be a really, really nice situation if he could get to the round of 8. SpeCial, it would be a massive, massive situation, massive win if you were able to pull an upset against a player that I think a lot of people will say on paper looks stronger.
You know, Steadfast, there was a time where SpeCial not making the round of 8 of a big event would also be considered a disappointment. I mean, we all remember that incredible run to the round of 4 of BlizzCon, but it has been, again, he still dominates his region, still beats Kelliser or whoever finds his way into the finals in Latin America. But it's been a while since we've seen a good, deep run from the Terran of many names, SpeCial and Windy and all these other things. The question now is, how does this map really affect things? We saw a little bit of Stargazes. Okay, it's kind of that free natural if you're a Terran. And we certainly saw the sieged up positions really come to fore. But as we look at this one, with the free third base that has a less gas, if you're talking about a mech player, that's really interesting. Is SpeCial, he's found his way on in here. Oh, the SCV is undefended. So, yeah, Natural will just not go down for quite a while. He's going to get a second SCV. This is wonderful. Yeah, maybe he trades his Reaper, but you are okay with that one. Actually, bounce on the other side, but looks like the Reaper gets out. Massive windfall here for SpeCial in the early game.
That was huge because not only did he get those pickoffs, he might have taken a bad angle. Nice zoning grenade right there from SpeCial. Clem also pulled an SCV to try and make this little attack happen in order to like overwhelm what he thought was going to be an even Reaper versus Reaper fight. Instead, SpeCial picks off 2 SCVs, delays the command center, and gets out with everything. That was what we call highway robbery. That was an illegal move, and SpeCial was able to get away from the cops before they showed up.
And how does this change the way things are going? First of all, SpeCial, Clem, he has less workers, but it snowballs, right? His starport is now going to be later. It means Ravens are maybe going to be later or whatever else SpeCial decides to go for. But now 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions going to try to dive on in. It's actually only 2 and 1. SpeCial may be getting a little greedy, waiting for the Cyclone to pop out, but a couple SCVs, they already fall. Grenade, though, actually look at that. He gets on the other side of it. So now the Hellion's going to try to get this last Reaper. He gets it and lock on here as well. Fantastic crisis management from SpeCial. But even still, he does lose the Hellion. He's not able to quite finish the shots. And more SCV or more Hellions, they join the fray.
Yeah, Clem really wanted to get something done after the little early game. It's not a massive advantage, but it is a significant one. And in Game 5, you don't want to let your opponent have those advantages for free. Those 2 extra SCVs, especially with a little bit of lost mining time as well. You don't want that. So we see Clem able to get a little bit done. SpeCial getting into the main base with these Reapers. He will be able to pick off. Oh, wow. Stacks up those SCVs so that SpeCial's not able to target fire. Only gets 1 SCV, I believe. That was really, really nice right there on the defense from Clem. He does something very unique that a lot of other Terrans don't. He repairs up his own SCVs, and that's why it took the first SCV so long to die, and the second one didn't go down at all. That could have easily been 3 SCVs going down if there's no response from Clem, but Clem, you talked about crisis management. That was brilliant crisis management from Clem.
He not only did he repair Steadfast, he preemptively pulled the SCVs into a little bundle of repairing joy, which... yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that. That was actually, on top of just repairing, that was really cool. So, I mean, look, let's be real, though. Those 2 Reapers, or the Reapers of SpeCial, they absolutely found their worth. Yeah, they only get 1 SCV right there, but they got 2 early. They delayed the command center of Clem for a while, and this now means it's a 4-worker lead for SpeCial. Oh, great lock-ons. He's not going to quite maintain that, but he wants to be careful and make sure he doesn't get locked on the Cyclones. But this position that SpeCial occupies, it's not a game-winning one just yet, not by a long shot. But he owns the high ground. He's doing a great job of just forcing Clem to try to make something happen. But now here Clem goes. He's up the ramp. That's the obstacle 1 already done. But lock-on's on top of the Raven. The Raven's going to have to run away. But there we go. We're fine. Again, SpeCial repairs. Again, the Cyclones find value. Auto turret in the natural, but it's not getting anything out. Well, I guess it got 2 workers at the end. But Clem is not going to break SpeCial with this army at the front. It's looking good for the man.
It certainly is. And now SpeCial, he's done it. He's won 2 games with it already, and he's going for it again. It is going to be mech on Moondance to try and take the series against Clem. This is probably the most even game state we've had between these 2 players going into this situation. I do want to note, Clem built his command center on the high ground. His 3rd CC, he built it on the high ground, which is a very, very weird move, considering the fact that this is a free base. That's That's a weird. I didn't hallucinate right? Like he lifted it over, yeah.
I actually didn't see, but I'm willing to believe you. And if not, well, I'll say he did it anyway, so we'll both be wrong. And that is a service I provide you, Steadfast, free of charge.
Oh, very, very kind of you. But yeah, every game so far has been either a pretty significant advantage for Clem, like we saw in Game 4, which he eventually did close out, or a significant advantage for SpeCial, which he eventually closed out, but it took him a long time to do so. Although, really, in Game 1, he was in a really, really good position for a long time. Game 3, I would say, equalized after some really good engagements from Clem, but it's always so difficult to come back in those situations, and SpeCial ultimately was able to take it down. Very quick fourth command center out of Clem here. Wow, that is super, super fast. And a second starport. He got the scan on the factories, and he is going ham on this greed. This is all off of 3 barracks. He's got a fourth command center started up before his add-ons were done on his second and third barracks. I love the way he is playing this right now.
This is how you have to play against mech. Traditionally, right? You get a base up. You keep going, you keep expanding. You just say, yeah, I'm not going to trade as efficiently, but it's fine because, well, I have more stuff. The nice little wiggle there is, hey, Depot Top Hat, is the fact that, yeah, going for that second starport, Clem, he's getting himself set up for this really powerful bio versus mech just idea of having more money and being able to benefit from it. But, oh, good lock-ons there, but yeah, well, he's going to be able to get out, I think. So nice little, he picks the pocket of SpeCial. Oh, is he going to get out? Yeah, no, he's going to get out. Those are just aliens. So, on the backside.
Secret agent Cyclones. It's just 2 brothers. They're Cyclone pilots, and they have a need for speed.
I don't know how I feel about this push out from SpeCial here. Feels like Clem may have delayed him long enough, but here come the tanks, and he does establish a position. Auto turret gets drive. Not really sure what that auto turret is for, honestly, because the tanks are not moving in. The Ravens have all died. Maybe it was, no, this is what it was. It was to snipe the Vikings. He actually gets a lot of damage on the Vikings here, forcing them to land. And okay, so that's actually really nice. Gets a Raven as well. But is this going to enable anything from SpeCial? Looks like the answer is no. Yeah, he's packing up, going home.
I was gonna say, I don't know if he knows about these additional starports. He did see the second starport. That might have been what prompted the push, but now that his opponent is able to outproduce him in Vikings so substantially, yeah, he cannot keep pushing. Oh, we got a little pause from Clem. Hopefully everything is all hunky-dory. Mouse bugging. Okay, yeah, we got to pop out of game.
This is... we're cursed.
Yeah. This is absolutely the most cursed situation. We may have a situation where Clem might need to... Like, we may need to get back in the game and, like, resume from replay. Because even if it's 2 to 3 seconds of things not being ideal, we are at that situation. We are at that tipping point where 2 to 3 seconds could decide who not only wins this game, but as a result, advances on to the next round. So we are absolutely going to make sure that everything is okay. I promise this one's not the internet. The tubes are fine. We did clear them. We put a lot of effort into that. But somebody got into the mice. Oh, okay. Actually, it looks like we are getting back into it. Yeah. So we got to pop back into game.
Well, we're gonna wait for the referee to say go, and then we'll be going into that one. Of course, man, everything that can go gone. Okay, there we go. Referees are saying we're good. So we're gonna get into it in just a second. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Occam's Racer is in Valencia, but we're gonna get back into game right now. And here comes the Vikings. They run forward. SpeCial taking advantage of that pause. He knocks a couple Vikings down before Clem is ready. And look at the Viking count. It is 4 to 7. Yes, there are more Vikings from Clem. More Viking production potential from Clem. But for right now, SpeCial doing a damn fine job at the Liberator. Sieging on up here. Vikings now running on forward. Looking to take advantage of that one. Oh, Hellions get dragged into a tank shot. But SpeCial forced to give this position up. Now that looks like he will be able to get his tanks down. He's one shot. That's fine. But the Viking count, despite everything, it is still... Well, actually, no, there we go. Clem now in the Viking lead, so SpeCial absolutely has to give this position up, but it's still 4 base to 4 base, Steadfast.
That it is. That was a very, very scary moment from Clem. For Clem, I should say. And he is able to come out of it completely fine. That was some extraordinarily good crisis management. The Vikings, obviously, he was rallying them out. It was 7 Vikings for SpeCial, but a couple of them were not there. The 5 Vikings that were there were all very low in HP. But now we're going to see SpeCial getting into the natural. We'll be able to find quite a few SCVs right here. These are Red Flame Hellions, so they don't do tremendous damage. But he is still going to be able to find a total of at least 7 SCVs. Oh, if he can get a couple more shots. Nope, Marauder's going to take those down. Good job. SpeCial probably wants to wait before he goes in with this next set of Hellions for that blue flame. It's such a huge power spike, especially with +1 weapons coming on down. He is going to try and match the starport production of Clem. Oh, he's just going to run by again, though. Wow.
Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, yeah. Clem is on three starports now. I was going to say, no, he's not. He's up a starport, but that is not really true as more workers do go down. Of course, 3 Hellions, they do one-shot anyways, as they're going to find their way on in, but they're really not lining their shots up all that well. So Maren, they're not even microed. So that's why, though, because on the other side, here comes the army of Clem. We're going to have a couple tanks. They're going to get shut down immediately. Thors are here. But this is a scary position that Clem has found his way on into. The Vikings were on the ground, now they're in the air, so I think SpeCial has an air lead anyways. Not quite, but it's good enough for him to be able to take the fight right now as the Thor look to waddle on forward. SpeCial has lost this position. He's going to land again, okay, but anyway, the tanks are going to move on forward, and they're going to shell down at everything. The Marauders on the right side, looks like Clem's going to try to make that happen, make sure he gets out. That was really scary for the Mexican Terran, but it looks like he will survive the altercation.
Yeah, that was a really scary moment, like you said. The thing is, if it was a planetary fortress at this base, obviously he wouldn't have been able to lift, but I think that would have been a much easier defense. He does still manage to, keep everything alive and get what he needs to done. We got to point out, 1-1 was not done for that fight. It finished after the fight at like 12 minutes. That is the latest 1-1 you will see in a situation like this. I mean, we got to say it. Clem's just playing Sky Terran right now. He's just playing straight up Sky Terran. He is going to get the Fusion Core. Hopefully, for the love of God, he remembers Lib Range this game, because that played a significant factor in him losing game number 3, I would say. There was a lot going on, so you can't say for sure. And especially with how wide open the map was, it was always going to be difficult to, slow siege forward. But on a map like Moondance, it's a lot tighter. That Lib Range is going to be so crucial.
And I mean, Steadfast, I'm going to go one step further. I think Clem has Lib Range. He wins game number 3, and we're not in this game right now. But as a fan of good StarCraft, I'm not really complaining all that hard. Clem has his 5th base done. SpeCial getting his right around at the same time as now these Hellions they're going to be not really getting all that much done. I mean, they got submarines, and that's nice, but, well. SpeCial, 5 Vikings on the way at a time, and he's actually, again, he's still behind in that Viking count. We do have to point out, Clem is actually faster to his air upgrades than SpeCial is. Yeah, SpeCial has +1 armor, done, fine. But his +1 attack is a lot slower. So the Vikings, even if he is able to equalize that Viking count, which I don't know that he necessarily will, considering the fact that he's maybe up a couple workers and he's got supply elsewhere, his Vikings will just be worse. But Steadfast, thank you for pointing it out. Lib Range is on the way. Liberators are actually going to be to their fullest power level in this game.
That is really important, extremely important. We are going to be seeing 2-2 for the bio coming on in. I would really like to see 2-2 air prioritized at the very least a little bit. Ooh, we are going to see a nice pinch off right here. Marines catching these units. Oh, he even... I don't think that was intentional. I think he just dropped the tech lab. But very funny that he drops the tech lab and it kind of like shuts the door. Ooh, a little bit of a bioforce looking to trade out. But SpeCial is pushing forward at this moment. That being said, I think... Well, actually, what's the Viking count? It is in favor of SpeCial, but look at the splash from those Liberators. Even just one volley getting a lot done, but the Thors on the ground are going to help out a lot. Clem is going to be forced back from this position. Yeah, he's got to cancel this and give this base up. This was a really unfortunate time for him to be trying to trade out army.
Yeah, it looks like he had stuff on the right side as well. That really doesn't make much of anything. And SpeCial, yeah, he cancels a couple command centers, but Steadfast, all of a sudden, look at the supply here. It was briefly 200 to 150. The Vikings defensively at home, knocking everything down, but advanced ballistics is now done. It becomes just a little bit harder for Clem or for SpeCial to push in, but SpeCial, he still has the Viking lead. His +1 air is done. +2 armor is on the way. SpeCial on 5 bases. Yeah, sure, Clem is as well, but Clem was not allowed to continue to expand, continue to build that advantage that technically this composition allows him to do. That being said, Oh, you can run Hellions in if there's nothing on the ground, but it looks like there's just enough bio that the Hellions are going to be slowed down, knocked down, and really not get all that much. But a scout actually on the double armory is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's you should know that it's happening, but it's always good to know exactly. Ooh, we are going to see a bit of an engagement. Oh, the splash damage! The Liberators! Oh my God, they delete every Viking, and now they are going to rain freedom from above. What a blunder from SpeCial, but a huge move from Clem. And just like that, the Sky Fleet for SpeCial is gone, and so too is his ground army.
I don't, shades of what, Liberator Muta back in 2015. I don't think I've ever seen air liberators that effective, and there is no way SpeCial retakes air superiority anymore. It is 24 Vikings to 5, and yes, SpeCial's building 7 at a time, and yes, Thor range is nice, but this army from Clem is going to be so damn hard now for SpeCial to stop. That being said, Clem a little bit reticent about where he goes. It looks like he has decided he cannot push into this situation. I feel like he probably could have, but instead he scans north side, sends his bio up there, and he's going to really be happy with maybe just the fact that he has traded insanely well in that last fight. Actually, we don't even have it on the battle report. Just so much resources lost more than anything else.
That is, okay, so two things. Amazing fight for Clem. Second thing, amazing patience. He sees, he scans, he knows the game state. He's like, you don't have a 5th base, or well, I guess a 6th base. You don't have a 6th base. I don't need to push the issue. I'm up in eco. I've taken this bottom left. I'm taking this 9 o'clock base. I am the one in control now. The only thing that could, you know, go wrong is me over pushing. I've got 2-2 on the way for my air. I've got 3-3 on the way for my bio. I am the one in control of this game. And there is a period of time, you know, maybe a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, where Clem would have rushed it and maybe just maybe given himself a chance of getting into a lot of trouble. But now he shows that patience, he shows that maturity, and he shows that he is ready to really compete for a world championship title here. But the one drawback of that, it gives SpeCial a chance to max out once again. And Drilling Claw Widow Mines, we just saw the power of Liberator range. Drilling Claw Widow Mines, a Liberator air-to-air splash. Drilling Claw Widow Mines are also very, very devastating against clumped up air.
The question, though, is whether Clem is ever going to run into this. I mean, we're at the point where there are just unlimited scans on the map, but the Vikings now running on forward. And the Liberators are sieged, so that splash is not going to happen again. Vikings here, what is it, 28 to 22? Actually, SpeCial with a significant Viking lead right now, but he's got to be so careful, even with the Thors. Because that splash damage, it annihilated him. He's well aware of what it is. 2-2 for air on both sides, +3 mech attack for the Thors, adding on that additional DPS. And it's only 4 Widow Mines. I kind of expected to see more, just to have him run under and make something happen. But only 4 Widow Mines right now. Maybe SpeCial is kind of a last-ditch effort, but he runs across the map once again. He's actually down in workers now, so his army supply a little bit further up. And let's see if he can make something happen here. Liberators again. You don't move up a choke into that many Liberators, but maybe you can find a position elsewhere. SpeCial does need to start knocking down some of the economy of his opponent.
Oh, he certainly does. We've got 3 more orals coming in for Clem right here. That's going to bring him up to 8, which is so nice to be on. Liberators right now, they're just ghosting the movement of this army. They're scanning each other. Really, really nice. Really nice positional play from Clem right here. The Thors, they really want that, but they do not want to move into this range. Oh, SCVs. Okay, looks like he wants to sack a few, but SpeCial's like, nah, it's fine. These SCVs are like chasing the army back. That's what it looks like to the untrained observer. Something I would love to see, by the way, from Clem is smart servos. If he wins a fight, you want to be able to land those Vikings as quickly as possible. It is such a good upgrade to have. He is getting into those kind of bonus NG Bay upgrades, the building armor and the high-sec auto tracking. Right now, scans are king. And Liberators are going to be super important, by the way, for dealing with those Widow Mines before they get in. Oh, Liberators getting some pretty big shots, but they will get kited back a little bit. You got to be careful. These Widow Mines are moving forward.
Yeah, the Widow Mine is such a big disengage tool here from SpeCial. He just forces the Vikings, forces everything back. But you're right, he's taken so much. Those Vikings are so damn low. But again, SpeCial seems like he's taking a little bit better trade for the moment, sitting on the edge of lib range, knocking down Vikings, and he has built himself. Actually, it's Viking parity again. It's 23-24. SpeCial's had a lead, Clem's had a lead. But SpeCial has been able to establish pretty much base parity. He's down 1 base right now, but he is a meching player, so it really is all about the gas for the most part. And actually, it's Clem that is lacking minerals here. He's got plenty of gases now. Again, SpeCial running on forward. But it seems like he's just taking the negative trade in that fight. 20 Vikings to 25 here. But Steadfast, this missile turret ring, Liberators don't kill that.
No, they do not. I was going to point that out. It's a really, really funny situation where this is where you do need that little bit of actual ground force. Maybe that's a couple of tanks. Maybe that's a few Marauders. You need something that actually kills buildings. And as it stands right now, I mean, the Marauders are going to be able to take out a couple of those turrets. This is a situation where I'd also love the range and building armor upgrades, or at least the range upgrade for those missile turrets. It would be so helpful, just being able to zone the Liberators out a little bit more. And with you already committing to, I mean, this is 6 turrets right here. He lost another 2 right there. Going for 8 turrets, it's certainly worth the investment. I do want to point out as well, Clem may have sacked a few too many SCVs. His army supply is going to be gigantic, and that's going to make him a really, really scary... I mean, it's going to make it really scary for SpeCial to take the fight. But if SpeCial can continue to trade, and he takes favorable trades, it's going to be more difficult for Clem to remax. But here we go. Big stim coming on in. The Liberator's going to push back the Thors, and at least 2 of them will go down. The Drilling Claw Widow Mine's going to try and burrow up, but Clem will avoid them. Splits that 1 Liberator forward, and the splash damage, the Vikings... I think there's too many of them for Clem. Liberator's gonna chase down once again. They're trying to close the distance, but SpeCial will kite his way out. However, the Marauders on the ground are starting to break through, and the air superiority for Clem is just, I think it's just enough.
It looks, I mean, it is 8 Vikings to 10 here, but I think some of those Vikings of Clem are finding their way onto the other side. So SpeCial's going to retreat back into his main base. Now, these Marauders on the ground are really uncontested, but eventually SpeCial's going to have something there. It looks like their command center... he can repair it. I don't know if he will, and we will again see those Marauders on the backside finding so much value as you pull SCVs. Not really going to do all that much, but now SpeCial active on the map once again. Yeah, he's down 30 army supply, but what matters is the Viking count. He's down 3 there. Marauders on the left side. There's actually just nothing on the ground. SpeCial does not have the money to build anything on the ground here, and now Clem, he's going to knock a command center on down. SpeCial's economy is absolutely in the dumpster, and in 23 minutes, folks, it's been back and forth and over hill and under dale. But Clem, he's parlayed the air lead into a ground lead, into an air lead, into a ground lead once again, and this SpeCial's economy, it just cannot match what Clem has anymore. This army, I don't know how SpeCial resupplies.
Neither do I. At this point, he's lost 31 SCVs. I love this little Liberator for harass. It's gonna say, if you don't come at me, you're going to have to split your army. He's going to send all the Vikings over to this right side, and Clem is going to take advantage of that. He's going to see that there's nothing here. He might just be able to stim in with his ground army, to be honest, against these unsieged tanks. He's eliminating positions on the map where SpeCial feels safe. To be honest, I don't think there's anywhere on the map where you can feel safe right now as SpeCial. Clem, he's sieging up to knock out this final mining base on the top side. He wants to zone his opponent out from that position. All the Vikings going down, save 1 solitary Viking, and GG gets called. Clem advances on to the round of 8.